right, welcome back to Finding Truth Podcast on Unscripted Truth TV on YouTube. Episode 29, one away from the big 3-0. Uh, Crazy how time flies. Like that's just, I still remember, uh, talking about not only Kurt Cobain, but those weird synchronicities we were having with um, your cousin and
Yep.
things of that nature. Like it was yesterday, and I was in a whole other house, and I hadn't moved anything yet. It's just, but man, it seems like it was not as long ago as it was. But yeah, time is definitely flying. Interesting episode we'll have today. A little bit shorter, but should be good. A couple of headlines we want to cover besides the NASCAR race, which we will get into because we do have a semi gloat session to get underway. But we do want to. I want to cover the passing of Val Kilmer. I know that was like the biggest celebrity news. In fact, that's like one of the bigger celebrity deaths, definitely this year, but in quite a while actually. I know there's been minor ones. People will say this is definitely one of the bigger actors. I mean, he's 65. That's very young too. So it's like it's a weird. Anyway, so we'll cover a little bit of that. At least I want to talk a couple of points about it. Like I was telling you, it was my mom's favorite actor. I mean, currently I would assume as well, but she had a huge crush on him back in the day. But besides from that, we'll also want to cover these fun tariffs that have been rolling out hot and fast, and maybe talk about what we think a week, 2 weeks, a month from now, what this all will look like, because we know it's contrived and we know these things. It was going to happen regardless. It doesn't. Kamala would have had something in the wings. It doesn't matter who the puppet is doling this out. We know where it's really coming from, and uh, the best we can do is try to foresee what they have, what this means for us, either basing it on something they've already done, or just being able to get a read on where they're moving us. And we talk about similar things to where they're taking us every single week. So if you've hung with us, you know where we kind of stand with that, and it's really no different. We're moving towards their agendas rapidly. They've made them known. We've reiterated them so more people can know them, and these things are happening right in front of our faces at light speed, really. And so we'll touch on the tariffs. I also wanted to check in on our everybody's favorite creepy uncle, the Pope. Uh, big guys out of hospice today, so a fitting day uh, for the head of the Catholic faith to get out of the hospital on 4/6. What couldn't have been a different, would never have been a different day. He was either going to die or come out today. That's basically what it, or wait 2 months until 6/4. But anyway, uh, so yeah, we'll check in on the Pope, and then I think we'll have a couple of other discussion topic points. We'll see where it takes us. But without further ado, kick it down to everybody's favorite host, Austin. I forgot.
Well, I'd say it's definitely April. I mean, amazing week. April 1st was already almost a week ago, but yeah, I mean, we are now officially in 2025, and it's just been a crazy week. Yeah, the first just kind of flew. Everything since the first has just been just a blur. Um, and I went to the trampoline park that day. I was like there for a few hours, but like I just did like I did so many flips. I was just going so crazy for just those few hours. I was like the most I've ever done, and like I don't know, it's like a really good time, and just like I was just kind of celebrating, and then all of a sudden here we are. It's already almost another week has passed, and I got a lot of stuff done. I got that thing I need to do, that certificate thing for my job, done on the first. Like I said, I'd do my taxes that day. I'd go to the store, stock up on some things, and I was on the phone for like 3 hours. I had just so much to do, and it was just like I got so much done, and then like this week was just like I said, just kind of a blur. Everything is just, I mean, April 5th, I know, was pretty much the huge highlight, of course, because you had 31 years of Kurt and you had 23 for Big Lane Staley. So you have a total of 54 years, of course, on 4-5 or 5-4, and Ritual's 45. And um, of course, it's the 95th day of the year, and you just have so much emphasis on this day. And of course, that would, of course, just add to 54 for, the Cabal 54. So it was a
Jesuit order.
perfect, yep, Jesuit order. Yeah, it's just perfect. It's a perfect fit. Um, the way it was this year. And then, of course, this week this weekend was, I'd say it was pretty nice. It was in the 70s. And then it was like, I know it was sunny, but there was the heavy spraying again. It was like what they did back in last month towards the end there, and with the storms, the tornadoes and stuff. And now you have April, you kind of get this blast, but this warmth, every time it's like 70 degrees, it's like they got this heavy spraying going on. I've been noticing, and I'm really interested to see how this plays out the rest of this month, because it's supposed to be pretty nice and warm this month. Is saying like a lot of 70s and stuff, especially when we get to like another few days and the rest of the week, couple weeks ahead and stuff. So if it's gonna be early spring, are they just gonna spray in the spring? They're spraying the spring in. So, they're what is this going to lead to? We've already had like I said, last time when we had the tornadoes and stuff, and there's been very wild weather, I know, all over the country, especially tornadoes, and it already looks like it's going to be a worse year for twisters this year than it was last year. So we're definitely on pace for that. Um, yeah, it's just been, there's just been a huge energy shift this week coming into April. Things have really picked up, and you can just feel it. And like I said, like I'm just kind of focusing on like getting rid of some stuff right now and selling some stuff, and focusing on kind of moving situations this upcoming week on like Tuesday and like Friday and stuff, and kind of, you know like I said, probably get rid of some stuff this week, throw some stuff away. I mean, I don't have much, it all fits in my car and stuff, but it just like focusing on that, and just like kind of doing a walkthrough of where I'm be living. So just kind of like planning things out, understanding like what I'm going to be kind of working with. So making my life easier come probably like I said, after or April 30th, when I do move and stuff for classes on the 1st. So it's like kind of just setting myself up for that pretty much the remainder of the month and this week coming up. So I'm kind of in this uh very interesting time, because I mean, like I said, the days are ticking. It's going by fast. I'm getting things done, left and right. So definitely going to be a much different place I'm in very soon. It's I'm excited. I'm excited to move on and do something different, and kind of somewhat the same but somewhat different, and just kind of be moving on to something else. And I'm just kind of like just learning what my new kind of like schedule is going to be, and what I'll be kind of doing. So it's kind of an innovative time for me. It's kind of like, of course, with whatever we do this year too. Like I said, my birthday's coming up, and trampoline park and stuff, and all these things. And there's a lot to look forward to right now. It's a very eventful time, and there's a lot of big things going on.
Yes, sir. I mean, I'm going to have my own personal trampoline set up within the next day or so. And yeah, we'll be jumping around, you know, I mean, I'll be hopping around from here till the 29th. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to our getting together on for your birthday, and hopefully we can do something for the channel in regards to that as well. Uh, I mean, I would assume we could at least get a picture up, but hopefully we
Absolutely.
can we can maybe even do something a little bit more meaningful than that. But yeah, I definitely feel you. The days flying by, and yeah, April, and yeah, I'll back you up on that too. I mean, insane. I mean, it was at least 2 days in a row that were very, very good weather. I mean, as far as the natural side of things, but yeah, it's just what we constantly talk about here, and these planes that are like, obviously there's perspective and everything, but these planes are so close together, spraying in obvious patterns, and it, like I said, depending on what you believe, you can either take the narrative that they're not even doing it and it's condensation, or that they're potentially doing it to block out the sun, or to reduce the harmful effects of, which is, you have a great shirt on for this conversation if we're talking about the sun. Got the Corona shirt on, but I mean that's a conversation starter for a lot of different reasons nowadays. But
Yep.
anyway, but yeah, definitely. I mean, being in southern Washington to where you are, it's very similar down here, especially because we're both near airports, respectively, major airports, I should say, and you just see a concerted effort uh, to blot out the skies and just turn it into that dull gray suicide weather. That's what I'm going to start calling it, is suicide weather.
Oh yeah, it's going on everywhere too. I mean, it's Wyoming. They're blasting out there, and there's really no airports, no people. You go to Central Washington, there's no airports, no people, and they're blasting everywhere. I mean, it's an ongoing problem, and they do a lot with the spray too. Like I always say, it's not it's a very multifaceted thing, and um, yeah, like I said, it's going to be something we really have to watch. I feel going forward because um, this basically been since like I said, March there, the end of March there, we had that weather, and that was literally the day after that spraying. I noticed it, and this time we didn't get anything, but it is raining now today. Um, I know the last couple days, like I said, it was nice. It was like in the 70s and stuff, and today they brought the rain back for like today and I think a few days, but then it's gonna be nice again. But yeah, they're just gonna be spraying basically our seasons at this point in, and then just it's gonna be 100 degrees today, but spraying the planes are gonna it's gonna be just so white. It's gonna look like fog. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna like our summers are gonna be just baked. I mean, there are days that go by without spraying, but I mean, at this point, it's like, of course, even with this um, regime, if you will, that it's only going to amplify it. They're not going to turn it down. They're just going to pick it up, and because there's still not enough people that even call it out, talk about it, even consider it as a problem. Everybody they just go about their day. They don't even want to address it, and it's just coming to a head. I mean, it's something we can't just allow them to just. I mean, because how bad is it going to get? I mean, if it's just if you can't stop the spraying, you can't stop anything, and we're just to a point where I mean, depending on how I mean, you're going to own nothing and be happy. But I mean, like I said, there's twisters. I know there's been just crazy weather all over too, and we know that weather warfare and these weather weapons. This is also a huge thing, and it's also like I said, they poison us with it. They block out the sun with it. They do a lot of things with it. So it's not so well what most people want to think of it. It's just this, oh well, it's just it ain't they can't how do you control the weather? And it's just like now we're coming to a point where it's like, well, when you're involved in something that's going on in say Arkansas right now, you'll now you'll be like, oh, that must have been what he was talking about.
And then, I'm actually gonna, yeah, I think you were just saying it in passing, but I'm gonna kind of throw a wrench into that thought that they're. I mean, I mentioned it too, but that's what they say they're doing. But yeah, I don't. It very well could be that the blocking of the sun is the narrative, and the reality is actually the reverse. I know I've seen certain things. I would have to do more research and stuff on this type of topic, but I know that at least mainstream is pushing that melanoma and skin cancer and diseases are on the rise, and they could say that they're doing stuff in order to prevent that for the future, but who caused it? If it's on the rise, that means it was lower before. was the sun different before? Is anybody going to be honest about what's really happening? Or, anyway, but you know, it's not just an old wives' tale. You get the worst sunburns around water, or especially if you're in the water because of the refracted light. And you look at what they're spraying: aluminum silicates, and even let's just play devil's advocate and say that it's ice, like they say it is. It's water vapor. Well, sunlight through the water, that's going to be harsher uh, than not. So even if it is dissipated water condensation droplets, we could be getting a harsher um, sun uh, sunburn or whatever, a harsher ray, if you will, than otherwise because of these planes. And that's being generous with their definition of what they're doing, which I've never believed that that's what they're doing, and that's what that is. But there might be a truth to it. Like I can understand that, like an engine could all the way up there with the heat and the cold. Sure, yeah, I'm not saying that that can't happen, but for them to say that's what is happening, and it just happens in long spurts, and then it doesn't happen anymore, and it's just like the fact that people, it must really just be for like the lowest IQ people to just that don't really read past headlines and just that, like, that's the science they cling to. It's just they can just say, oh, that's condensation, and they won't even like question how it happens or the patterns it happens in. They'll just say, oh no, yeah, that's what that is, because it makes zero sense. And I still don't understand how people could believe that. But yeah, I could see it being, I mean, it's not that I can see it. It's, I truly believe that what they're spraying, obviously backing up what you said, is poisoning us in more ways than one. And you know they're very capable of these things. And if it was something as simple as weather manipulation, there's governments that are open about it. Like I've talked about before, like what the UAE and places. You got Arab princes that are, they know what day is going to be sunny, and if they're going to bring rain that day or not, because it's like common knowledge that they manipulate the weather in some areas. But here we're just like, we still think it's like this hush subject, and people can't, people in their mind don't go outside the US, people in their research don't go outside the US, people in, and that's including myself. I mean, I do where I can, but I mean, I'd love to take my body outside of the US before I'm in the ground at some point. But yeah, it's, people don't realize that there's whole other nations with concepts and ideas, and the US is, it's a prison in more ways than one. And the biggest prison they have us in is our own minds that they are manipulating. It's that old, what is it, like Socrates, or the the puppets on the wall, and you don't realize that there's a whole world out there when you turn around and realize that the shadows are just, you know people making puppets on the wall, and those people go home at night and they have a whole world that they live in, but you're just stuck in your own little tiny world thinking that's all there is. And not to mention weather warfare has been admitted to. We could talk about the logistics about this, but really, that, I don't know how much you can espouse like honest facts when it's the trendy headline that people cling to. It's like, I wish the trendier thing to do was to research until you have a better understanding and knowing of something, rather than just taking everything at face value from untrustworthy sources. But that's the world we live in. He's the country.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, another thing too they do with that spraying too is they can control people's moods and how you feel too. So I mean, you wonder why everybody looks so bad and feels so bad. Well, you got to look at what they're blasting you with, and Yeah, I mean, it's interesting too because you have these protests and stuff going on right now, and people that are unhappy, and um, but I mean, it's amazing how none of them are going to know gematria. None of them know really to the level of what we know, for the most part. They don't even realize why Trump has the 88 right there on the podium. I mean, these people, they don't know why he wears the 45, 47 hat. So I mean, it's amazing where, like I said, it's just the people lately I've been seeing too, these Teslas with anti-Musk, the anti-Musk Tesla owner, Musk, no Musk. Like, well, I don't know. You have all these options. You have all these different manufacturers and way better deals. But no, man, I really need a Tesla, bro. It's just, I mean, look at it. It's just the most beautiful thing. It shows that you just are so successful and you're just so much better than everybody else, and you're just top of the line. You gotta if you don't own one, you're just nothing. You're just not part of the club. It's just, I mean, the way these things are popping up is just, I'm out and about, and they are just taking over. I mean, everywhere I look, I turn. It's just these things are absolutely everywhere, and yeah, I mean, we are really in the trenches right now. If you're gonna own nothing and be happy, I mean, um, you know, even for me, like the best times I had, were like especially doing like Uber and stuff, was like 2017 to like 2022. Like the economy back then, from those times, especially before COVID, because I mean, things like I said were never great before then, but it was still kind of somewhat fun and have a good time and kind of do things. And then like up to 2020, and then 2022, and then pretty much after that, like the economy and everything has just, the inflation has just taken over. I mean, I remember in like, fuck, it was like 2022, and I was, pumping gas, and it was like two something. I mean, I was putting like $15 to like fill my car, and it's like now I'm putting like 40 or more to like fill my car, and gas is way up, and all the prices are just, through the roof. And you know, definitely not making like what I was too, like before, like 2022 and previous to, like the amount of money I was making, just like um way the economy was. It was just like, it was just a way more abundant time. And you just look where we are now, and just the price, like I said, everything has changed in the last 3 years. Everything is, doubled, tripled, quadrupled in price. Um, and you just have all these things right now that are being, you know, shoved in your face, from the economy to the inflation, the spraying, just what's going on, what are you talking about? And then you have, uh, like I said, this week, which is always, just April and April 5th, and all these things going on. So there's just this huge recipe right now, and right now it's like looking like this month. Like I said, there's always going to be something big. Like I said, we got WrestleMania coming up in a couple weeks. I
Mhm.
know on the 19th, 20th. Um, and those aren't days you can miss either. It's just like every day, it's just, you don't know what is it going to be. I mean, they just,
Yeah, those dates are nasty work for like a major event, like to be planned on April 19th and 20th. Like, oh yeah, that's a coincidence, sure.
it was funny too. Say one of the people at the gym there, one of the personal trainers, he was born April 19th, 1996. So I'm like, oh, so you're turning 29 and on the 19th, and it's funny here. I'm born, April 29th, 1995. So he's a year and 10 days different. But yeah, it's just, yeah, you just can't escape it. And there's so much more. I mean, who knows? I mean, the 29th, you can't miss that either. You got the 9/11 right there, the 119th day of the year. So I won't be surprised if something goes down that day. I mean, it's going to be, and then like right now too. I mean, where we're going to be in just a few days, on the 10th. I mean, there's so many things coming out in the next couple days, few days. I mean, we've been uh, on top of so many things, and one thing we've been probably more on top of than anybody else has definitely been the NASCAR uh, because this is another week where we were putting it right on the money. I mean, how do we, our number 2 pick does it this week. Hamlin goes back to back, so we're going to get a 3-11.
Hamlin three-peat. I mean, it's definitely worth taking a look at while we got some time here. I know you watched the highlights, and I was peeking in on it ever since lap 100 to damn near the end of the race, and I saw the small portion where Reddick had the lead, but I also saw that Byron was out ahead over 10 seconds from split times on the entire field, and for him to still lose, I mean, and then you mentioned about earlier when we were talking about this. I'll look it up and see. Let's see here. Well, we'll look into it. But potentially a record setting for Byron for how many laps he led and how many stages in the stage era, that is. And so yeah, that's something we'll look into with our our hindsight eyes. But as far as our picks last week, we were definitely seeing trending numbers and narratives for a potential three-peat for Denny Hamlin, and so if you're staying with our train of thought, that would require him to win this week, which he did. And I would go as far as to say, because I went back and watched part of it, we were definitely, and I'm not trying to we had 2 picks. We didn't give 2 picks, but we discussed 2 picks. And yeah, we did start to favor, maybe not favor, but we did start to see a potential for Chase Elliott, and which had he had a great finish, and he was also he was racing really strong when they were all getting dusted. When they were all 10 seconds behind, he was like 6th, 5th, 6th, 5th. So he was right there, and 0.001 second split from the rest of the field. So I was sitting there like, oh snap! I mean, he hasn't been that strong of a racer this season as far as like top finishes. So,
but he was solid today.
Yeah, so I just the fact that he was ran one of his better races, and he had the numbers to potentially pull out a win here. I think that was interesting. But never mind resting on our laurels, we definitely heavily focused on Denny Hamlin picking up a number 2. And I think it was even while we were talking about Chase Elliott, and then we were like, wait a minute. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about. That made us revisit Denny potentially winning another one. That's definitely something we'll have to look into.
Well, his name's got the 33 as well. So 11 wins 3 times, 33.
Yeah, that's huge. I
The
mean,
band 311 too. It's a lot of mockery there.
and if we look ahead here, we got another weird one. I mean, they either want you buying car parts or eating at the Food City 500 right before the Jack Links 500. It's like whatever. I mean, honestly, they should force these sponsors to come up with a good name, not just their name. But I understand that's how their advertising works. It's just so dumb sounding, but whatever. It's how they roll.
Yeah, this might be a dirt race. They have a dirt race once every year.
Okay. I'm sure I can look that up in some way. Let's see. No. Huh. They did. You're right that they used to.
Oh, did they not run one last year?
Last year they didn't run one here, and but they had been, and it was this race. It was the Food City, but not anymore. So they say. Back to concrete.
Hmm.
Oh, reliable. So, I mean, with us being in the proverbial driver's seat with the potential Hamlin three-peat, I think that's kind of where we should start looking into this Food City 500. But like, we can always start with the well, that's interesting there.
Yeah. Kurt Busch won his first race there in 2002. He drove the 97. I think that was the Food City 500 he won. Food City equals 500 or 97.
Yeah, it does. And it just sucks because we won't know polls and everything until later on in the week. So that's another thing too. Like that's a whole nother thing. It's like we're doing this research, day of um, race completion for the next week without probably pertinent information as far as where they ran in their um, prelim races to get their polls and things of that nature, and not to mention all the media that comes out throughout the week. I'm not definitely not tuned into that. But yeah, that's where your knowledge is definitely key. Like that's huge that you know about that.
Yeah,
And Bush,
the more you know, the more it really helps, especially like with NASCAR, like especially how like all the information you have just logged through the years. Because I know Denny Hamlin's done really well at Bristol too. I know he's won here too. Just picked up the big 56 win.
top drivers at Bristol since February. He's second only to Larson. There's Chase right behind him. And I guess this is a short track.
Yep.
So he's the best in that category. Hmm.
And he started fifth last week. He won. Started third this week. So it was actually, I mean, last week because I know when Bell won, he three-peated. Um, I know that was like a $40 win. I know last week with Hamlin starting like fifth, it was like a $70 win. But like this week wouldn't have been as much anyways because you're better off picking Chase Elliott because you would have won a lot more with Hamlin starting third. So hopefully if he does three-peat, he doesn't qualify too well. Just start last, Denny. Just DNF that thing.
Where'd our boy Bubba finish?
He was up there. He was running second again. I seen it in the highlights. Well, he finished 21st.
I saw that they jumped our boy Barry
Yeah,
up there for a little bit, and then something must have happened for him not to finish either pit or
he got in an accident. Him and was a single car. Larson, same thing. It wasn't much for Rex or anything. It was like pretty much they were the only two that really crashed. I think Yaley did too, but yeah, that's the thing. What I wanted to say before. Yeah, this race was really insane because this is probably the most dominant race anyone's ever had under this format. I know they mentioned a stat when I watched the highlights that William Byron leading every lap the first two stages only happened one other time, and he continued to lead on every lap after that until there was like 50 laps to go. So that might be a new record. He's either first or second in that. Because last time someone led every lap was and won the race was back in the Winston Cup when that was Jeff Burton in 2000. Led all 300 laps at New Hampshire. That was when we went over when Kenny Irwin and Adam Petty died. It was during that time, so I mean that hasn't happened, and it almost could have happened today. I mean, because William Byron gave up the lead pitting. That's how it happened. He gave up the lead at 50 to go pitting, so he could have led possibly every single lap today, which pretty much hasn't happened in like 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, just like I was saying, I noticed that, the split early, after 100 or so laps, and for at least like 90 to go, 80 to go, I was checking in on it, and he was just smoking. And then, yeah, for him to lose at the end, for them to even have a shakeup. I mean, I remember I looked in with sub like 40 or 30 laps to go too, and he was still up like 5 seconds on everybody, which, in racing, that's, you're car lengths ahead. You're like, how really do you lose if not for something, obviously an error has to take place somewhere along the way.
Yeah, there was that late caution. And they hit pit road, and then that's how it happened. That's how he lost the lead. He lost the lead when he had to hit pit road with like 50 to go, and then he lost the race because he pitted, and then Denny Hamlin won the race off pit road, and then like he got held up on the restart, got screwed over. Hamlin took off and just dominated the last 2 laps. I mean, it was literally, and this is the most dominant race like you've ever seen, like in the last like 25 years, where someone had a chance to lead every
Yeah,
single lap. I
there you
mean,
go. Oh wow, a record that was held since '88. Or yeah, since '88. Interesting. Interesting. He's 27 as well.
yep. He was born in '97, so he's turning 28 soon. '95, '94,
Yeah.
'94 again.
Yeah. Bristol Motor Speedway, 94. Day of the year is April 13th, the 97th. Oh, interesting. Born in 97.
November 29th. Russell Wilson's birthday.
Hmm.
It was really the exact opposite of last week. Denny Hamlin dominates the race, wins it. This week, it's William Byron dominates, and Hamlin wins.
Yes, certainly. He's won 2 at Bristol, which is, well, at least since February 2022. So within the last 3 years, um, tying his winningest track.
There's a lot there for Hamlin.
Yeah, I mean, he's won half the times he's raced there.
Yeah. That'll be 3 wins in a row. Like his name, 33. It's right in his name. The 11's going to get 3 in a row. Well, Denny Hamlin's got the 56. He's got 56 wins to 119.
But yeah, the Hamlin's got the 33. Like you've been saying.
And 57, it'll be his 57th win.
Okay, so yeah, the Denny Hamlin, definitely that was the 56 was one of the things we keyed in on of him two-peating. Okay, he races for.
Oh, and he had the sport clips today. That was it. Sport clips. There it is. The 48, 123 to 60 Trump numbers. Conspiracy numbers. The 147. I looked that up. I'm like, oh my god. That's I thank God I watched the highlights because I'm like, oh my god. And there he is leading with the sport clip car, right?
See, that's another thing too. I wish I somewhere I found the schedule for their advertising their cars, but I need to like pair it with this site and then just NASCAR stats to get a better picture because I don't know all the advertising. But interesting too because I know that his first one was tied with Michael Jordan. So of course I just can never remember these people's birthdays. February 17th. Be 55 days after Michael Jordan's, or the 56th day.
Yeah.
Like Denny Hamlin equals
Yeah.
56.
Yeah, it's like go figure. That's what it'd be about. Last week is about the 55 Satan. This week it's about the 56. Next week it's going to be the 57. Wonder what sponsor he'll be in next week too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe I should look that up. Let's see. Denny Hamlin spawn. I would guess Progressive since this is the one they don't like list.
Yeah, that was last week.
I don't see Bristol or Food City on this list. So it must be the Progressive. It's the one he races most of. I love insurance. Getting the win. These are some fun numbers.
Yeah, both of them's got the conspiracies. You got the one, or no, you got the 144. Then you have the sports clips today. More that was kind of more tied to Trump, more Trump numbers.
See that 121? I think that was
Yeah,
his. Uh,
Mayday.
yeah, that's his average rating at Bristol. Is 121 even.
Wow.
Now this is small print. If I go like huge here, it's going to be massive on the other sites. But Progressive insurance car.
Camry.
23. Okay, so Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs got that 33 in there too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now. And that 48, like the
69,
48,
early 90.
147, like the sports clip car too. So
Yeah, Gibbs is a big time name because he's got the NASCAR and he was NASCAR and football coach. And that's
right,
why you're going to
NASCAR.
be in it. Your name's Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs Racing.
This is the 13th. Yeah. Oh, Tennessee just lost in the Final Four too. Oh no, I spelled that wrong. Okay. Wait, did I spell that wrong?
No, I think you might have got that right. I think it does equal 201. Because I've looked this up before.
Yeah, I just didn't capitalize the T. Bristol, Tennessee, 201. I mean, this
Yep.
is just another example. It's like, man, this NASCAR is riddled with it when you really, I mean, you
Hell
can sit
yeah.
there and try to run all the numbers, but that's not really relevant and that's not how you do it. But very interesting. Because from what I remember, yeah, 2 weeks ago was another 201, I believe. Martinsville.
Well,
Was it
yeah, because
Martinsville, Virginia?
Chase Elliott's full name's got the 201, and then Kyle Larson also had the 201.
Mm-hmm. But was it like Martinsville, VA 201 as well? Maybe I'm tripping. Yeah, Martinsville,
Yep.
VA 201.
Yep.
So Dan Coleman wins a 201. I mean, I'm sure we're potentially just missing the 201 connection with today's race.
Get a back 201.
What's Danny's story? He's in his 45th year of life too.
Yep. He's never won a championship either. He's always second or never won it. So
I wonder if he's the guy they're gonna, because he's an older racer for sure, like
yeah,
compared to the field. So I wonder if this is the narrative because let's try to hone in on a narrative here. You have a lot of young guns, almost all of them being around 27 to 29. Like that seems to be the sweet spot for ages for these for the average, the Bells, the um, was Blaney in there? Or is he was no, he's older than that.
yeah, because Hamlin he ran his first race in 2005. And his rookie year was like 2006. So he's been around for 20 years.
Bubba's getting up there.
Bubba.
Oh, Reddick's younger, 29. Hmm.
Kyle Busch is pretty much it, but he doesn't really win anymore. So he's just kind of he's got the most wins right now.
He's trying.
He's younger too.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be like a telecaster of NASCAR.
Yeah, because his rookie year was 2005. It was before Hamlin, so he started before Hamlin too.
So that's kind of a what I'm trying to get at is like is this a send off for Hamlin? Is this let him compete? Is this like a Brady Mahomes type of deal? You know what I mean? You got Bell and I mean Bell's probably the best young racer this season that from what I can think of.
Byron
Um,
too.
oh yeah, and then Byron, yeah, Bell and Byron, BB. But
BB.
yeah, you got the. I'm thinking of is that the narrative they're going for? Is these young guns going against the old timer and because like I say, when I think about these things, I think about them in Sports Center. Like I hear them in Sports Center. Like I can hear them talking about it. And I know that sounds like because it is kind of messed up because I used to watch a lot of Sports Center. I would fall asleep to it, so that no wonder I can hear it. But I mean, purposefully, like I can easily like I could do a Sports Center broadcast right now, and I don't watch NASCAR. I could give you like I'm convinced the half the guys doing this don't actually aren't invested in the sport either. They just have a teleprompter saying that how many sports does it just take a gutsy performance. How many different ways can you just have? What does that mean? What does it mean to have a gutsy performance? Did you throw the ball right? Did you like what? It's just over encompassing everything. A gutsy performance. So what are real? I mean, yeah. There's just so many
He really dug
keywords.
down 2 in a row, bro. He led those last 2 laps. He did it, man.
He really put himself in a position. See, a lot of people will say, he didn't run that well of a race and he was getting smoked early and everything, but it's all about getting yourself in a position, and I think that's what Gibbs Racing is great at because they've always been good at getting their racers in a position, especially near the end there, and something can happen, and they took advantage of it today. And that's like and they just go like this, and then the next absolutely, and you know what, it's just like there'll be a positive Joe Gibbs guy, and then there'll be a negative Bell's racing team guy. It's like they made some horrible calls there at the end. They really got to check themselves. This can't be happening near the end of the season. This can't be happening during the Cup Series. I tell you what, they're not gonna, they're gonna find themselves in hot water, especially Hamlin's a veteran in this right now. So these young guns really got to learn from this. Anyway.
Yep, and like I said, it was the exact opposite of last week. Last week, Hamlin dominates, wins it. This week, Byron dominates, finishes second. Hamlin gets it again. They always got the riddle with the fiddle.
Bristol, Tennessee.
201.
1. Just seeing if there's anything standing out here. Speedway Motorsports. It's always worth checking these things out. These things play in like um, Motorsports 88.
There it is, 88.
So interesting. But yeah, like Coliseums or the places sports teams play at will sometimes play into the decode if it um, comes up, I guess.
That's so interesting that they went to race here on dirt and they don't race here on dirt no more. It's so weird how they just brought that element in and took it out.
I wonder if it's just just to cover my bases. I guess it's worth just, you know, you could have extreme hindsight come next week and say, oh, we knew about who was it, Larson
Chase Elliott.
and Chase Elliott. We knew they equal 201 and they're racing at a 201 track, but obviously there's more going on in the narrative because he had Martinsville. Of course, that was the abbreviated VA, but I saw it spelt that way. It was not like I just pulled it out of my ass. They said Martinsville VA, just like they have Daytona Beach FL here. So just like when you look up Bristol Motor Speedway, it says Bristol, Tennessee. They don't do TN. They do here, but anyway, just pointing that out. I'm not just using it for the sake of using it. It's
Yeah, this used to be I think it still is the world's fastest half mile. Or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is, but this is always like one. This is always like one of the biggest races of the year too. It's like always up there with like Daytona and like Talladega and like as far as like fun races and stuff. But yeah, it's got a lot of history here. Like Kurt Busch won his first race here, and there's like I said, Food City equals 97. He won his first race in 2002 and in the 97. Dale Earnhardt won his first race here, and a lot of history.
Who does Kurt Busch race for?
Or Kurt Busch is retired now, but
Sorry,
Kyle. Yeah,
that's what I mean. He is. Oh, is he related to Kurt?
yeah, that's his little brother.
That's what I thought. I didn't know too much about it, but I do remember them being brothers. Spire Motors. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's the truck series. Richard Childress. Dick Childress. Wait, that's like a famous sports name.
Yeah, that's Dale Earnhardt used to race for Richard Childress. And DEI. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated.
It's DEI.
Yep.
E, which is hilarious too, because like Dale Earnhardt Jr. is having like a trademark issue with Lamar Jackson because the number 8. I guess the way he patented his number 8 merchandise was similar to Lamar Jackson's, and he's not being sued, but it's being like pressured to like change his logo, and so he is.
That's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Richard Childress Racing.
The 120. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. That used to be Junior and like Waltrip and Steve Park and stuff, and that was you had Richard Childress and
Childress 97, 56. Of course, the 56 is
43, like NASCAR.
Makes a lot of sense.
So it used to always be a 43 car field. Richard Petty drove the 43.
Denny Hamlin's average start is 4.3.
There you go.
I don't know. He races really strong in Bristol, at least the last few years, for sure. I mean, in the top 5, 3 out of 4, 1, 2 out of 4. A lot of laps led. Let's see, 4.
Yeah, he's got as much narrative as Bell with that three-peat, and that they're both teammates. So go figure. And what separates them?
Oh,
You go
really?
Bell in the 20, and then he's in the 11. So you got 9, 9, 11. Like Chase Elliott drives the 9, separated by 9.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. What's Mr. Joe Gibbs? Oh, it's that's Joe Gibbs. Okay, I forgot about him. It's been a while. Okay, I definitely know who that. Obviously,
Yeah, he used to be the Redskins coach.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. He was like always getting shit on. Like he was always it was never just like about how Joe Gibbs is a good coach. Whenever it was always something controversial. But anyway,
he had to hide his shame, go to NASCAR. It's like I got to do something else.
he's 84 right now.
84, like Austin, like Jesuit.
So November 25th. Oops. 139 days. So 330th day of the year, like 33.
And there's a lot there. There's a lot of 33s. Last week it was 330.
Would you believe that I forgot Pope Francis? December 17th. Knew it all along.
Day before Corey Taylor's birthday.
Hmm.
And the food city, it's got to be about food. So they got to get the food in there.
Yeah, what's just food by itself? Food. Food cities. Where they come up with this.
Like, are we eating or are we watching a race? It's like, what are we doing?
Let's see. Did we do good old Danny? Hmm. What
146.
area code is Tennessee? Area code. Four, two,
423.
guess they're getting a new one too. New telephone numbers are available.
Get a new number.
I remember the uproar with people not wanting the 971 area code where I live. It's 503. That's only what I want. It's like, well, if you want to add a line, it's going to be a 971. It's like, no, it's ugly. It's like, what? What? It's like ugly? It's an ugly number or something?
It's not a beautiful number. It should be more beautiful than that.
Terrible number.
Like a 47. Like a 47 looks, it's a real beautiful number. It looks really good. It goes together with everything.
Quite frankly, I'm going to have Doge look into that number.
Like 9. 9 is a great looking number. Look at that number 9. It's a beautiful looking number.
Looking great, number 9. Well, oh yeah, well, that's right. I always forget what three-peat is. 44, like Denny Hamlin's age.
There we go.
For him to get a three-peat at age 44, that's a narrative right there.
That's yeah. Yeah, there might even be more than that with the Bell one, because the Bell one had quite a bit, but this is right there with it.
I think we just call him Chris Bill. Interesting numbers that way, but don't want to really manipulate it.
Denny Hamlin's ringing the bell now.
Just for shits and giggles, because I do like doing this usually. Sounds very English. I feel like a Hamlin. Little home lover. Homestead. You little home lover. Sounds like a name.
You little homie. He's at Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. And what was this? James. That's right. His name is James, though. I think we looked at this too. James Hamlin.
He's got the 42 like Kurt Cobain.
66 like Bristol, Tennessee.
Yep.
And then just for other shits and giggles, his name was just like crazy. James Dennis Allen Hamlin. It's like, how many first names can you have?
Yeah. Come on, Dennis the Menace.
Oh wow, his name equals 134, like April 13th or 13th of April when the races ran.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, did I spell that wrong? I might have spelled it wrong. Hold on. No, yeah, I spelled it wrong. Okay. It's crazy how that works, though. Half the time you'll get like something. Okay. Never mind. Omit. Straight start.
Got the 81 there, like
Yeah,
usual.
I'm like President Trump, too. It's also got the 369, like the Tesla action.
Tesla.
How long before you're racing Teslas, you think?
Yeah, at this point, it seems like it could be next year. I mean, the way they're popping up. I mean, I can't believe how much I've been to see them. But it's getting scary, like you said. I mean, every day they're just multiplying. It's, I mean, turn around, you turn a corner, it's like you seen a tiger now. Oh my God, it's a Tesla.
I mean, I think we're spot on. I think you know what? Let's be a little bit. Let's look it up real quick. Let's just see if there's something that this is it's that simple. Because I know that there's EV incentives, but you don't see Chevy Sparks as much as you see Teslas. And I understand people could, you could throw in the, you know, okay, Sparks are hideous. I think that's what my sister drives.
Yeah.
But let's see, this is from March. I mean, how do you have sales momentum of a car? I mean, is it based on total population? It's not like people who already own cars are like also like is everyone factored in that already owns a car would be someone that's willing to buy another car? What are their figures on this? Like what how do they figure you're supposed to keep up momentum? They've sold thousands and upon thousands of them. How many more do they plan on selling?
Yeah, and two, you got to look at it. Like I said, all these people that hate Musk and all these anti-Musk stickers. Oh, anti-Musk Tesla owner. I'm a no Musk, bad Musk. I hate Musk, and it's like, man, you know the options you have for a vehicle besides that. I mean, what made you go with this? Can I ask you? It's
Like this right here, it's so misleading. Like it doesn't like let's put our thinking caps on. Why would they continue to sell at the same clip all the time? If that were to be happening, then that's an even bigger red flag. Who would they be selling it to? Like, how if okay, so they had the craze. Obviously, there's a lot of people driving Teslas. Why would that like exponentially grow or maintain the same rate? Why are they even what? This is a nonsense article. This article is a nothing. It doesn't need to be there. Of course, it's going to drop. It's like how many people could you sell a state of the art refrigerator to? There's only so many people that would buy a refrigerator. They're not just I need two of these things. I should get three goddamn refrigerators. Like why would they continue to sell at the same a 49% drop in China? Well, that's misleading. How many did they sell? Maybe if we saw the actual figure for how much they sold, we'd be like, damn, a 49% drop. It's like, yeah, because you've sold to as many people as would buy one almost. So it's like, that's what it seems like in America because it's like, yeah, they're everywhere. But yeah, it's like I understand they have their stocks and their garbage that they like to talk about, and then it's never good enough for shareholders. But
yeah, the cyber trucks too. People decking them out. You're seeing all these cyber trucks and Teslas. They got these different looks, paint schemes, things are doing to them. I mean, it's just everything Tesla now. It's all this. It's the Tesla world. I mean, you can't get out of it.
look at this. Look at this absolute joke. As per the report, the company is offering new Cybertruck orders at 1.99% interest rate, as well, which is crazy. I mean, so we were right. There are definitely incentives. Of course, this is from last month, but they definitely did something early on, like months ago, to really drive the popularity and want for people to do this. And I don't think it was that advertised. I think you kind of had to look it up or be in the know from in some certain way, or it's in the know for people who sell cars, which they don't go and tell everybody how they sell a car once they're done selling a car. So I think a lot of dealerships got incentives for stocking Teslas probably and stuff like that. Because if you know dealerships, there's not you can get a Subaru from a Ford dealership. Anyway,
Right.
uh, so yeah, it says interrupt myself. Shut up, Logan! Stop interrupting me. Uh, the company is now offering 1.99% interest rate, as well as providing the option to get free supercharging for the life of the vehicle. Oh, free. Oh, it's free. The supercharging, you say, is free. So the station that you're going to get the supercharging just popped up for no cost. The the taxes being spent on your area where you're expecting that, because what they're talking about are these charging stations that all states have huge contracts out for. And I've mentioned this before. People should look them up because you can look up your state's. It's like a promise. What's a better word than a promise? It's like your state's expected. Like I said, I think I talked about this last week. They'll put it in there like it's the best thing. Like you'll love what they're doing. Like you're just as on board as they are, and you just can't wait for the charging stations to pop up in your neighborhood instead of a gas station. That's that their wording is always like that. But yeah, if you look it up, you'll find out that you're paying heavily. You're footing the bill for all these charging stations and that are going to be in every single state. And then, you're going to have issues with, I mean, look at the issues we already do have with the infrastructure. I feel like this is going to be something that is a catalyst. It seems like it's doing one thing, like it's easing the pressures of, you know, uh, archaic means of power generation. But what's going to happen is like these modern means of power generation are still going to rely on the infrastructure built for the archaic means, and they're all going to fail. And it's going to, just like the order out of chaos they love operating with. When I say they, I'm talking about our Jesuit overlords, our Catholic overlords, and I'm not trying to key in on anybody's faith. I could care less about that. That's all kind of a guise um, to get adherence through large swaths of people. That's all about. And I'm not here to pick apart anything about that. I have my own ideas about it, and I'll say it right now. I don't think it's all fake. I don't think it's like religion is all like some big fake thing. I think a lot of it, just like you'll find out with like many things in science, it's trash, but it's rooted in some truth. There's some truth that they're basing these things off of. And the reason they're able to piggyback and get you to believe certain things is because it's from a believable source. It's just the thing that you believe isn't you take everything, you 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 throw the baby into the bathwater. It's just as bad as throwing the whole baby out with the bathwater. Sometimes it's like sometimes you need to just take a shower.
Yeah.
Stop taking baths. So if anyone was able to follow my logic other than you, good on you, because I know exactly what I mean. But anyway, uh, yeah. Long story short, these uh, Teslas are definitely part of the agenda. The and I'm not saying the car is going to be the thing that fails. Honestly, they're not the worst looking cars. Everybody wants to poop on them because it's popular to poop on them. I honestly don't even think Cybertrucks are the ugliest thing. I don't think I would never drive one. I think they're interesting. I do think they're interesting. Like I would much rather drive a 95 Subaru Impreza, but at the same time, I'm not so like caught up in the narratives to like literally just say something's ugly just for the sake of saying it's ugly. Yeah, it's interesting, but it's not interesting enough for me to take a loan out on or sell out to get one, or you know it's like what happened to Italian supercars. It's like god damn, if you're really gonna sell out, go there. But at the same time, I don't think that they're the worst things in the world. It's really what comes with it is what's gonna really tear things apart.
Yeah, I mean, what it takes to, all for these charging stations, the lithiums, these batteries, what they have to do for these Teslas, these cars is what it's all about. And again, this the Tesla is the disguise, the distraction for the agenda itself, and that's what you have here. I mean, with vehicles, like I said, you have stuff that I've driven, all those Pontiac stuff. I had like four different Pontiacs, um, Corollas, like Honda Civics, things that I would be my next car if I get one is going to be a Civic, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be I'm going to try and get one from like 2010 to like before, or maybe a 2010, but who knows when that's going to be. But because I mean cars, I mean the way the expense, everything, and the thing is too, I mean like a Tesla, yeah, you're not polluting the environment. See, that's the thing where you look at it. Oh well, see, there's not gas being emitted. Yeah, you're not poisoning things and causing cancer with gasoline, of course. But you could be using water. You could use the water car. Have the water source also have a better method than having to do all the damage you're doing. So people see, oh well, we're not polluting the environment. It's better for the environment. You're not, poisoning everything with gas and all this stuff and all the benefits. But then you got to look at what it takes and what you got to do to get that Tesla and that battery and all the lithium and everything that goes into it. That's what gets swept under the rug, and people don't see the agenda.
Not to mention, if you look at Elon Musk's as a corporation, because that's kind of what he represents. Is he has he's multifaceted in his organizations really. But if you were to just take the main ones being Tesla and SpaceX, SpaceX is like one of the biggest deleters of wildlife in recent memory. It's like move over BlackRock. Everywhere his factories go is in some like um, wildlife refuge type of area that he just gets permission to slap. And a lot of the times, I think what I think is a large joke that's kind of swept. It's kind of missed is that Trump runs on draining the swamp, and like that's his position. He literally created a position and made him a special government employee or whatever to do just that. And that's what he does in real life. He drains swamps. Like that most of the places he builds are swampland because you'll have states and things, these are like undesirable places. Meanwhile, I have my own position on what swamps are and what they used to be and why they are swamps. That's not the episode we're talking about right now, but um, either way, they become wildlife refuge. It becomes an ecosystem for wildlife, and then you just tear it out, and where do those animals go? Where does that that ecosystem go? Or where do the ones that things that use that ecosystem? What are they supposed to do? But yeah, a lot of SpaceX's buildings, and because it's more than just like their facilities where they actually launch anything. I think those are in like Texas. I think he said he was moving to Texas. I can't remember all the places he has like a launch facility, but yeah, he's got lots of facilities regardless. And then there's his plants as well, um, manufacturing plants. So, and I say his, but that's it's just easy talk. He's he's a joke, but yeah, I think I've always thought that that was pretty interesting that the whole drain the swamp joke. Um, I think that was meant in a more literal sense, and people take it all but literally. No one thinks that draining the swamp actually means like a legitimate place. They think it's the government swamp. And, well, it's just like in real life, they're draining the swamps, and I don't know if the where do you think the alligators are going? If not, if we hate on the bogs and swamps, you must really like alligators swimming in your watering hole then.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look at the whole. I mean, you look at these things. It's just like how my birthday. They have to have my 22nd birthday. He's going to be reading the snake poem. I mean, they have to have everything on these specific days and these specific ways for these specific reasons. I mean, this stuff is flagrant as it gets, and you're still going to. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, how can you say he's not a puppet? It's like, well, I mean, have you not seen all of his acts? I mean, you showed the other week with the 47, the F-47. I mean, it's like, wait, number, it's a beautiful number. Like I said, people don't even realize that all these people that don't even understand the gematria and the numerology side to it and what's really going on. Like I said, people don't even know the 88, why there's an 88 on the podium everywhere, why you hear 88 all the time, and why 47 is all over the place, and why he's being shot at with AK-47s. And I mean, that's really what Trump is. He's the ultimate scam artist of all time. He's the biggest scam artist in the history of scam artists.
Yeah, and I mean, you put two puppet scam artists, together as the face of a presidential regime, and what do you expect to get but scammed? And the last time we had uh, Trump in, was the ultimate, scamdemic. So
Yep.
what else can you expect? But here's this is me, not me just reading the headlines, but I read up on this stuff. But other than just building near swamps and everything, he is allowed to dump tens of thousands of gallons of industrial wastewater into sensitive wastelands. He's just allowed to do that. We haven't figured out any other way. There's no great hole in the earth that we can just start filling up with wastewater. We had to just put it into the water that'll eventually. It's just like it's so crazy, like waste. How it's they sit there in school and they teach us how rain works and how clouds form and condensation and precipitation and you know but then they also admit to doing stuff like this. It's just like, well, if you're putting pollutants in the water, is that not going to go up into the water that is above us, that rains down on us, that is fresh, if you
Yep.
will? And where do we think it goes? It just goes up into the clouds and then it just stays up there, and then just the fresh water comes down. It's like that's not even logical. That's not even close to logical. Like the fact that clouds even happen is like basically a miracle. I know people can explain clouds. Everyone can explain things, but when you really just sit out on the grass and look at them, there's no explaining those shits. There's no explaining how tens of thousands of gallons of water can just be floating at any given time, and it takes a certain trigger before it's just like, no, you know what? Let's sprinkle down here. Let's just sprinkle down here. I mean, we don't really want to be a cloud anymore, do we? No, no, no. They all say no at the same time, and just they don't make sense. In my Scientifically, they can make sense of it all they want. Scientifically, T Rexes, you know, the proof of a T Rex is something this big, proving the massive scale of it. Velociraptors used to be chickens. These are all like scientific fact. So I think if you're going to broadly accept all scientific arguments as truth, rather than just wonder and wander in your own mind with your own brain on some of these things, I just think you're kind of missing out on what it is to be a damn human. Or just to be alive. Never mind being a human. I think you can be a rat and look up at the sky and be like, God, man, what the hell is going on up there? But so many people are just like, well, Wikipedia says, what's the other guy? Oh man, what's the Neil deGrasse Tyson told me basically that when the moon's in our orbit, and don't get me started on the moon either. They keep changing the definition and what a moon is, how a moon is, how the moon
Yep.
is in our orbit. They recently, I think, only a year ago or so ago, admitted that the moon was like in our atmosphere, upper atmosphere. It's not even outside of the Earth's atmosphere, which I don't believe that stuff anyway. But like they keep changing. It's just like, well, did it move into our atmosphere or was it never there? Did they not like fly right? Did they not fly to it? So technically, they didn't even leave Earth to go to the moon. If they did go to the moon, like that's not as impressive as there's so many things that there's just like, oh man. But I'm just talking about a damn cloud. They not the clouds
Yeah.
don't make sense. Going to the moon makes even less sense. But
Yeah, people just can't put two and two together. In case you can't see what it is, it's nothing makes sense. I mean, and yeah, the clouds used to be completely different. I mean, clouds used to be big and
mm-hmm.
puffy and poofy, and oh, that one's a dinosaur, that one's a turtle, that one's a bunny. What is it now? I mean, now it's just a well, the clouds are all fabricated now. You rarely even see like real clouds anymore. You just see the shit they spray and all the crap up there and just garbage. I mean, you rarely see a real cloud anymore. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just the thing. I mean, they have totally just. I mean, they've taken us down so many ways, and this was something I wanted to bring up too tonight as well. Was just like the importance of like how they've taken away our senses, but they've taken away um with of course the AI world. Like I've said, the self-driverless cars. I mean, you got to look at it. This is a world that's becoming. We're not. There's no human like touch. There's no human like intimacy anymore. There's no. It's just become an epidemic, and it's something no one really talks about. No one talks about just the fact that there's just the way the social like structure is, and just the way people are in relationships. Families dead. Intimacy is dead. Um, Interactions are down. People don't go out. People are. Um, Everything is just you just at an all-time decay, or just not even there at all. I mean, you have, like I said, people don't realize the importance of like whether it's even a pet or a relationship with another person or something, but the importance of like touch and like contact and um, just the overall being able to like feel things, and it's just something that is like we're supposed to have, and like most people don't even have that anymore. There's people out here that haven't been touched in years. There's people out here that haven't done anything in years. So you have um, so many people that are just lacking basic human qualities that are just supposed to be just givens, but the neglect today just people don't talk about this stuff. It's just become an epidemic, and this is why there's so many miserable people and so many people that are having all these problems on top of the problems that you already have to deal with. Like we've been saying, the spraying, the weather, the agenda, and all this stuff. But just the way they've deconstructed humanity. I mean, it really COVID was a huge um, setback for all these things, and it's really everything's just gotten worse since that time. And this is like one of the biggest problems today that no one's talking about.
yeah, and I'll even double down on that. And you know, for anybody new to the propaganda and um, the agendas at play here, it really comes down to as young as they can get them. There's all sorts of quotes and Freudian um, concepts about what you can do with a young person, and kind of that concept of like raising a kid in a white room. What can you do with the power of a developing human that is at your full disposal. A lot of psychology kind of functions on that concept, and that's why a lot of these things, these evil, horrible things that the CIA, MK Ultra, all these things rely on pre-programming and clearing your mind to be able to reach that young state of mind that I won't get too far into it. Point being is they target kids. That's what I could say. I could have just said that. They've always have been, and you might there's different ways of going about it. In order to target kids in certain ways, they target the adults in a more broader sense. Those adults will then raise children with a doctrine that they want them to teach. So that's in one way they'll target adults, but the end game is for those kids because those adults are not going to be their Manchurians. Those kids are going to be those Manchurians that are that have that trigger built in when they were adolescent. And so what I know this might seem off from what you're talking about, but there is product after product after product, as far even as to go as far as the bedside manner when you're having a child. The fact that they, how quickly they swaddle the baby, and really what you have is like a blankets, and this is their first entrance into the world, and it's like maybe their cheek on your actual skin of the mom. And wrong or right, maybe there's like a good reason for it, but but never mind that. The products that are made for, like, look at the more primitive cultures and how they do it with those. I think they're really cool, those like swaddling things they have, because a lot, it becomes Americanized. Everything becomes Americanized, and for a while those were actually pretty popular. These like long, it's just really like a sheet, like a connected O sheet. But like, when you wear it, you can move it any way you want, and you can make it bigger or smaller depending on if the kid's feeding, or if you're holding the kid straight up, or you can put the kid on your back, that kind of thing. But the Americanized products are very much like you say, it's like separation. It's like purposely wearing a suit where your kid would normally be right skin to skin. Skin to skin is what I'm talking about. And I think, that's probably very important. It's probably very important. It's probably underrated important, because you grow more and faster as a kid than you ever do as an adult. Like, from the time you're this big to that big, you do more growing probably in that time than you will the rest of your life, in
Yeah.
mentally, physically, in all aspects. So to downplay what that really means for those, you know, primitive years is, I think it's a bad idea. And like you said, you're coming from that angle of adulthood and the lack of intimacy and touch and all those things. And it doesn't. I don't think you're necessarily only talking about any kind of sexual way, but that too. Um, all these things are in decline, and for a good reason, because they want us gaining our dopamine rush and our hormones and other things. Our pituitary glands will only be activated by a radio signal. It'll be activated by a visual signal from within the metaverse. That's where they want us. And in order to program the average person to be susceptible to that, you have to, this is a long roundabout way of me explaining that you need these kids to not, on average, not have physical affection, because if they do, they'll know what it is. They'll know that it's always going to be better than the artificial. But the people that grow up to be adults that never really truly had it, they'll, oh, I can get consistent from this AI. I'm taking it from the AI. This is no work. The AI loves me. The AI wants to touch me. I don't got to do anything. Whereas you ask, an Adonis that, gets it on frequently, they're like, it's like, yeah, maybe I'll keep an AI in my closet when I don't have somebody over. But other than that, I'm not interested. So it's, I made a little bit of a joke out of it at the end, but I really do think that is, that plays into what you're saying. And I think it is from very early formidable years.
Yeah, and you got to think of the youth right now too, because of COVID and stuff. This is something where they've really suffered. They've been pushed back, especially the lack of touch and the lack of just lack of everything. Really, I mean, what they've done to people, especially the youth. So this is something where it's like, and it's something where it really goes unnoticed. I mean, just like everything else. I mean, just it all goes part ways with the falling away, the great falling away, and
Mhm.
just humanity falling off the mark. And it's just it's not something you're really taught about in school, you're really taught about or told about in life. It's just something that it's just something that is kind of generally supposed to be there or should be there, but it's something where people don't understand like the own neglect, like how bad a lot of people actually have it, and just um like I said, the youth right now. I mean, what they're coming up with and stuff, and now, and it's all the things you have to think about because this wasn't something where it was like um, this much of a thing, that long ago. But it's just the way the world, how fast things move, and this is just basically just humanity being stripped away from everybody bit by bit.
Yeah, some you talk about COVID. That's not a bit. That was a
Right.
that was a bunch
Yeah.
by bunches sometimes. And yeah, it's I think people that have enough discernment and self realization and uh, just realization really of what took place during those, let's just call it a couple of years, with the main bulk of everything. But even at that first year too, if you could have taken a step back during those times and seen just how crazy people were on the drop of a dime, really, and how quickly things can change. You talk about capitalizing on the whole Uber Eats thing. I was on the outside looking in, thinking like, how would this become a thing? Is everybody really just going to shell up and just pretend like the whole world's going to die, and they're just going to order food from somebody who's out in the outside scary world, touching their food and breathing in their car and touching things in their own damn car? It's just, are we all going to pretend like we trust everybody's car but our own? And like, no, they're Uber Eats. They probably go to a group clean room and they desanitize before they get to work. And it's just like I'm working at a restaurant. I got to see it firsthand. You'd see some people come in with no masks and people react, and then you'd have people that were on the other end of the spectrum. It's just like didn't want to take their mask off. I'm like, why are you here? Why are you out with your family at a restaurant? You're
Yeah.
too afraid to take your mask off. Why are you here? And then you have the other people that are just so dumb and just like, oh, mask. Oh, I'm protected. Sit down to eat. Let me start eating in front of all these people. Guys. Oh, I'm scared again. Put the mask on. Time to leave. It's just so stupid. I couldn't believe. And then, like I've talked about a million times on this channel, it's just the friends that I had to lose over this crap, because it's just like it's just like this, like we're talking about these Manchurian type ideas, these triggers that are put into people, which my friend was a bit younger than me too, and I probably took in television I didn't take in. I'm not saying I took in the best stuff, but there's definitely concerted efforts in it, and it does come in waves. I don't think they do the same thing for everybody. I think the reason they don't is because placebos exist, and they do have test groups where all a big melting pot of test subjects that you know work towards them gaining a larger psychological index on the populace. And we've talked about things they've done in order to affect, okay, so you think that, right? Well, can you point towards anything that would make sense to? Well, what I could easily see it during that whole, I know this might seem like a tangent, but that Damar Hamlin um, stint with the Bills, I didn't even care. I saw it happen right in front of my eyes, and like I understood the decodes that were given to me, and I completely understood that it was a Masonic ritual, the Hiram Abiff ritual. I get all that. Okay, I do get all that. And they did it right in front of everybody. But at the same time, they were able to engineer something that happens that has never happened before. And then they were able to basically gauge the reaction of, tens of thousands of people all at once. the effect it has on a city. These are all things that they would, you know, this is what that, you know, to my point, you know, drowning out a city, Charlottesville, that was an index too. It's like, yeah, they want the courts that they're gonna get that regardless. But you think they're not gonna index what happens and the reaction and the things that come afterwards, and you know, even during, how are people gonna live when their house gets swept away in a mudslide? You know what, I feel like that we're all being indexed. And talk about AI, it's like AI, it's hilarious because they sell it to you like it's an indexer. They sell it to you like this is it's better than any human indexer, so use it that way. Well, that's interesting. So you have this artificial intelligence that was made as a great indexer, and you guys just haven't been using it though. You guys weren't using it though, right? Oh yeah, it's just for us. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks once again. It's the beautiful overlords that just wake up with just wanting nothing more than to make our lives better and easier, and they're just like, you know, I can't sleep today if I don't put a smile on at least every American in this. We I can't believe people put their faith in politicians, businessmen, all these different things. But how can we still think that anybody wakes up with any vested interest in any of us? We have to be that person for ourselves and our loved ones. That's it. That's always been it.
Absolutely. I mean, and like what you were saying too, like with Uber and stuff, and I've been talking about that too. Like I was talking before too, like how I didn't even know what it was until 2017. Like I said, I took that first road trip out to Washington on my birthday for my 21st birthday, 2016. And I came back a year later, 2017, for that one as well. And then I moved out here, and um, that's when I found out what Uber even was. I'm like, well, what even is that? I don't even know what that was. And this was when I was 22. So I'm like, never heard of this. I didn't know what Amazon Flex was, and you know, Amazon Flex, Uber Eats, all these things. And that was when it was like blowing up. Like Uber was like, I think that was like the year it really started getting big. I know it started around that time, but it was like 2017, 2018, 2019. Like there's a lot of people doing it. 2020, 2021, 2022 was still, like I said, pretty good. Those are the best years, like 2017 to 2022. Like I said, since then it hasn't been as good. 2023, 2024, you know, 2025, and um, there's definitely a lot less people doing it. It's just like you just watch these things come and go and get phased in, get phased out, the way they move things around and change things. And this is, like I said, this goes with everything else. I mean, it's the same reason they're spraying, and like I said, with the weather and everything, and all these things, you're gonna know nothing to be happy, and all these different ways to attack you. It's like I said, the days of job security and stuff are done. AI and things, and things are gonna get a lot weirder too. I mean, I think, like I said, I still think the internet stuff is going away. I mean, the internet and things, and there's definitely gonna be, they definitely have an event planned and whatever it's gonna be, and there's so many things right now that can even happen this year. Like we keep talking about this 2025, and um, all the things going on right now, and there's just, and with AI, I mean, the advancement, like I said, where it's going to be by the end of the year. I mean, you're seeing it already this year, the pace of the year, but you can really see and feel this year, like everything just like building and emerging right now. And like I said, we're in the month of April, and this is the real start of the year, and things are just kicking off. I mean, I believe by the time we're in May, I mean, we're going to go through a lot this month as it is. Um, with still another, you know, over 3 weeks to go. So, and you know, right now it's the big thing is, of course, as of late, is the obviously the tariffs, but and of course, why would it be the tariffs? Because tariffs, Nirvana and William all have the same gematria, so that's why they got to have the puppet doing the puppet deeds as always.
Of course. Too bad.
William.
Yeah. Suicide is a 34 and 47 too.
Yep.
You just wonder, you know, these like the blowback, because like it's interesting because we talked about this quite often. I mean, I mean, in a roundabout way, we've kind of talked about it just in the like we were talking about the geoengineering of our skies, and we've also talked about it in reference to that Ring episode that we had too, about how they like their mood scaping, how they can put people in moods. They talk about this. This is an open thing. They like brag about how their movies and how their landscape, how they set up their movies are all psychological ways of getting people into similar moods. Like they can get you into a mood through what you see and your so it's like what's the difference do you think from watching a movie? Like why I reference The Ring is because they literally put into effect it was raining the entire movie because they wanted you in a dreary mood because that was the kind of the focus to get you on. It wasn't so much of a horror movie where you're getting it's not that kind of a movie. It's like a psychological movie, so they wanted you in this like deeper psychological sense, and that there's ways, there's a pattern way to do that. And so what about in real life? Just in real life when it's even if on we finally a sunny day, and before you go out from lunch at your shitty job, that you get some vitamin D, and all you're getting is vitamin D's nuts from a from a plane that passed by, because your whole sky is just gray and that blue is just gone, and you just got to live in gray. And then you go back into your gray building, sit at your gray chair at your gray computer with your gray desk. And what do we think that is? And this isn't to shit on the color gray if you love gray. It's like I don't mind gray. I think gray is a cool color, but I'm talking about the psychological detriment that a certain mood setting can do to people. And then you take a certain sect of people that are already, they don't function well in the blue, they don't function well in the daylight. So then you put them in the gray all the time. And that's where I think suicide becomes a relevant talking point, especially when we're talking about April, and the recently, just yesterday, April 5th being the suicide of, quote unquote, suicide of one of the more famous suicides of ever, Kurt Cobain. And where did he commit suicide at? Oh, maybe the grayest place in the nation. On average, the Seattle, Washington area, and
right with Daly, and I don't know too if you heard that there was black rings floating in Seattle, like in the sky. There was black rings floating and stuff. I guess this week or last week or whatever I heard. Someone showed this to me or sent it to me.
Gotta get King 5 Seattle.
Yeah.
Was it a UFO? What's a UFO? No more UFOs. What are they now? UAPs. Get with the times, King 5. UAPs.
Yeah, that black ring. I don't know what UFO that is.
That's it. That's the picture. They couldn't even blow it up for us. Do I gotta do this? I don't know what the resolution on this thing is.
I thought the one I looked at was a different one, but there was like different rings or whatever, a different ring. But yeah,
I'm solely a skeptic, but I'm not saying that's nothing. I mean, I think that could even like, let's just play as if it's real. That could be bugs, dude. Bugs do crazy shit. Bugs love flying in like circles and stuff. Swarms, I mean, swarming. Swarming is very much having to do with frequency. Like it like the insects that do swarm, a lot of it has a lot of it has to do with reaching a certain frequency with their movement, whether it's their wings flapping or whatever they're doing. It's about achieving a certain frequency when they do it. So, in case people didn't know that. So that, I mean, the way it like falls away and kind of blurs. If we're not saying this is just like a okay, so let's try to see some other ones since here we go. I just hate how everything that all the ads that we're playing are just so gay behind everything. Oh god, it's just like man, just
Yeah.
being a straight guy, we're trying to watch the internet, you just see so much gay stuff. It's just like man, I'm not even trying to hate, but that'd be jarring to see. That'd be jarring. That should not be happening. Traditionally, that should not be happening. And then of course you get the War of the Worlds onlookers. You know that movie is so frustrating because it hates you. Movies like you are the idiots in the movie. That's who they are. You're not Tom Cruise. You're the idiots in the movie. You're the ones that are
You're
like,
paying to watch it. Yep.
but yeah, you're the idiots in the movie theater and you're the idiots in the movie. You know, War of the Worlds, like the lightning crashes down and there's lightning storms and everybody's just time to go outside. What's going on out there? Oh, we're so smart. We're gonna go in closer to it. Oh man, there's a big sinkhole opening up. Let's get closer to the sinkhole. I'll survive. I'm so good. I'm the main character. I'll survive. I want to be right on top of it. It's just like, man, they really just hate us. And then, oh, a big giant thing comes out. Now run. Well, what did you think? You weren't open to that idea. You were. What did you? It's just whatever. Whatever.
Samara's gonna come crashing out of there, just fall out of the hole.
I don't know. I see this like maintaining of the ring on the outside of the where it's thickest. How it blurs a little bit. I don't think that's camera blur or anything. I think that that's like a swarm of something, which is just as alarming. I'm not trying to say, oh, it's okay. It's just
Yeah.
a swarm. I'm saying like, I mean, that's pretty large.
Yeah, it's like, bro, did you see the ring? It's like, yeah, we see that. We talk about the movie all the time. No, I should really see it. It was outside, bro.
And
The
of
ring
course,
was
you know,
here.
it's not just in blue skies, at least not in any of the pictures. Like there is some blue sky, but there's, I guess that one kind of shows it with the background of no sky. I mean, it's just look at this though. Of course, they got the plane here, and it's just so hazy. And there's not a cloud in the sky making it hazy. It's just hazy from all the spraying. It's crazy.
Yeah, they can clearly see in that picture they're blocking out Mount Rainier with the spray. They got a spray wall up blocking it out because from that view, you'll see
It
like
should be
all of Mount
crystal
Rainier.
clear. Yeah.
Yeah, Mount Rainier should be right there. You can only see the top of it, so you got a heavy spray, a wall cloud behind there. They're spraying.
No, I did not hear about this, but this was March 29th.
Interesting. A month for my birthday. Go figure. 329. 8 days ago.
This is right in Seattle too.
Yeah.
Could be a number of things, but I initially, I mean, if it is what it is, to me initially, I thought insects. They said it was from a Supercross event, and it just stayed in the sky and swirled around.
Yeah, Supercross event.
Hmm. Well, then how did it just maintain there?
Yeah. What even was that?
Yeah, what are they using in order to do that?
That's weird.
It's just like, what? Okay, so you're on here on Reddit. What is the point of being such? It's so crazy how they've done this. They have engineered this completely backwards. The acceptors think they're the cool ones. The ones that just buy everything that's told to them, they think they're the cool ones. Oh, look at those chemtrails, the scientists over. It's just like you're pissing on the skeptics that what about you don't know about chemtrails? You don't know about what? What play school science get to go with their Ayn Rand tantrum politics early reader? It's just like, what are you guys doing on here?
Yeah.
What is your day like? So weird. And super cross. I mean, that's just such a funny name. Like
Yeah.
what was Jesus crucified on? Super
It was a
cross.
Supercross.
I mean, okay. Okay. So that's all fine and good. But like clouds come and go and it's still there. So can we talk about that? Why is it still there with the clouds and without the clouds? And why is it such a tight ring when it wasn't a tight ring to begin with? What
Yeah.
what could keep that momentum? Nanotechnologies. It's like I that doesn't really make any sense. Like, why would it be? Well, Supercross. Can we get that machine? I'm about to go steal that machine then, because and then also say I just came up with a perpetual motion maker. I can keep atmosphere in a perpetual state of swirling with just this simple machine.
Yeah, we got a
Because
black ring maker. It just makes black rings all day.
yeah, what a great thing that we need. You guys like gray clouds or black rings? Which one do you want? If you want both, all right, Seattle, you get both.
They said put a ring on it, so getting married.
I mean, part of me is also just like, of course, it's right in view. I mean, this isn't going to happen in Puyallup. This is going to
Right.
happen right where the Space Needle can be taken. It's Space Needle and the world's largest super volcano. It's got to be in the picture where the black ring's at. When we're just on the back of the portals during Christmas that everybody's already forgotten. Ah, I'm sure there's more to this.
And people don't even see the spray wall behind there covering Mount
Mm-hmm.
Rainier and all the
Just how
crap.
hazy this picture should be. Absolutely gorgeous.
I
And
know it looks like it looks white.
it looks like it was taken in 1973.
Yeah.
Like with like a I don't know. It's just crazy
Doesn't even look real.
yeah. That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to our favorite uncle, time is passing by quickly. I guess since we're talking about Seattle, we might as well bridge over to at least further mentioning what we've already kind of mentioned. But obviously, to us, obviously, you have a I just had a thought that maybe this had
It's
something to do.
20. It's also episode 29, and Kurt equals 29 as well.
Good synchronicities there. But yeah, just yesterday you had the death anniversary of Kurt Cobain, and that was kind of like our channel was kind of like started. Well, I don't think it was intentional, but it just our what we were into kind of came to the forefront when we were making this channel. And why would we talk about stuff we don't care about and aren't into? And so we talked about stuff we were into and care about. And that's one of our biggest things was Kurt Cobain, and we delve pretty deep too. And there's always deeper we can go, and I'm sure that there's space and time on this channel uh, to go further because it is ever interesting, and there's a lot of things we haven't touched and haven't gotten to as much as we have. Um, but yeah, not an April 5th goes by, or at least the week of, without interesting things going on. You touched briefly on the tariffs. That was uh, when were they actually enacted?
Can't
It
remember
was
what day that
just
was.
was it? Oh no, it was April 2nd because he didn't want to do it on April Fool's Day. That's right. So it was
Yeah.
4/2.
Yep.
So, yeah, 3 days before the death anniversary, you have one of the biggest world news since for years. Biden didn't do anything that was like major that anybody was in the uproar, and I understand that there's engineering of people's political beliefs going on, but still. Um, so yeah, you
Yeah,
just
and that
had
would have
the
been the 92nd day of the year too, and then 92, like the reflection of 29. It's episode 29. Kurt equals 29. Nirvana, Nirvana, Tariffs, all like same ciphers. William, 4 cipher match.
yeah, I don't think that's an accident. That these tariffs come 3 days before this death anniversary at all.
And 23 years, like I said, plus 31 for Kurt, getting the 54, the 54, 45. So yeah, this was a really big one.
The 54 has been kind of haunting me for something we're going to talk about after this. We'll stay in the realm of celebrity. But yeah, the 54 has just been everywhere. Of course, means more than just Jesuit order. Jesuit order. Uh, you had the 5445 connection. You have the April 5th that can be written either way. But ritual is just such a potent number for that because you have the 20. Him also representing the 27 club, uh, which for those in the know understand that the 27 club is the 27 club for a more of a reason than coincidence. It's not coincidence that the 27 club is a thing. It's because ritual equals 27, and I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more to it as well, but it's definitely when you realize that these deaths, and in a way, it's kind of like their way of an origin story. Anybody that dies pre 27 or 27 now there is an established lore. You know what I mean? To the ritual. It's like I think anybody can do this, and I think to an extent people do it on a micro levels in their life. But at these grand scales, people need to realize even memes are ways of orchestrating culture. And so you get this thing, you get this everybody to okay an idea like the 27 Club, similar to how they got everybody to okay the Illuminati without ever okaying it. Like everybody knows it exists and also knows it's a joke and also knows it's like not as big as it really is, but nobody knows shit about it. No one knows anything, but they all like know something about it. That this is very similar. It's like people don't understand why 27 and why the people that die in the 27 Club, it's always something crazy. It's always something crazy. It's a suicide. It's because it's a ritual. There's a ritual behind what they're doing. And, to that end, I don't know the reason for 27. I'm sure 27 has probably something biblical, pre-biblical, some sort of Sumerian concept or Phoenician. I don't, I, you get what I'm saying there. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's our job to know all of these things. Not saying we can't know them or shouldn't know them. I don't think it is our job. Like, I don't think it benefits us to know every reason for everything that they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's our job to put an end to it. You don't need to know their origin, the origination of 27 as in the use of ritual. What you need to do is know that it exists and stop it. That's You can ask questions later, just like flat earthers and globe earthers and all the other types of earthers. Let's throw this thing out. Let's overthrow this thing and then go through all the shit together. And we can just like hang out and go through it all, and we have all day to do it, and we're not being pressed by shitty organizations all day long who I can't imagine in that world that actually would have happened, that anybody would still have strife towards somebody who has a different belief on what you're going to find out is that it's neither. And it's like Minecraft had it right all along. it's going to be something even worse, or even worse, yeah, than either one. And we're just going to laugh about what we thought it was. Because like the shape of the earth is another thing that it's just all like, okay, yeah. And that, dinosaurs, and yeah, just, the moon's this far away. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that rock's from 83 million years ago. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's just arbitrary to me. To me, it's completely arbitrary. How could that ever affect anyone's life for the better, for the worse? For anything? Who cares? At the end of the day, you can be interested in something without needing to know. And the fact that people they're not drawing lines in the sand. That sentence is always overused. Drawing The way I've always perceived a line in the sand means it's something malleable. You wouldn't draw a line in the sand for something you wanted to stay there. So these people are painting, lead painting the concrete. This isn't a line in the sand. These people are taking firm stances, never to be changed, regardless of any information. And that's not what you should do with anything, let alone something you will never, ever be able to prove. If you continue to live the same way we're all living, we're never going to know. They could tell us tomorrow that we're on the back of a dinosaur, and we'll have just as likely as proving that wrong or right as we do the current system we have, which is none. No chance.
Yep, 100% exactly, and that's where we find ourselves. Everyone's and that's why it's people that are on either side. If it's, oh, I'm a flat earther, I'm a round earther, I'm this, I'm that. Everyone wants to tie themselves into something because that's just their identity. It's, oh, well, this, but it's like, okay, yeah, you have nothing to go off of. It's just like um I've said before too. It's like, yeah, you can say the Earth is flat, but I mean, where's the real, where's the 100% actual proof of that? Let's just take a look at what this is first, and then once we see what it actually is, then we'll decide what's really real and what's really going on, instead of just deciding to just pick a side. I know it's round, and I know this, and I know that the sun is millions of miles away, and it is what they tell me it is. Then you have people that are caught up in that paradigm as well, and that's how they attack in between and underneath with all that, causing all the divide. And the thing is too, I mean, like we were saying, it's just the same thing with the tariffs as well, and all of this. in what's going on right now, how they're setting the stage. Because you have so many things going on, and with, of course, obviously knowing tariffs and the history of tariffs and what tariffs are, um, they're trying to play it and they're trying to spin it as, the next best thing since sliced bread. It's tariffs. Um, but look at the overall effect. I mean, U.S. markets, they fall the furthest in a single day since March of 2020 when the COVID-19 scamdemic was going on. Was declared there on um, this was declared on 4/3, the 93rd day of the year. Sun's 93 million miles away, going with everything we're talking about. Uh, and then you have tariffs as well. That 3-4. So you got the 3-4-4-3 in there. And like I said, tariffs, Nirvana, William all equal the same thing. Then they're saying too. I mean, look at the numbers they're using. No, the S&P fell 500. 4.8%, the Nasdaq 5.4%. So there's your 54, there's your 48. The Russell 2000 fell 6.6. So you got all the numbers. You got Donald Trump 48, 4.8%. You got um, Order of Illuminati too. It's got the 93 houses on the 93rd day of the year as well. And Trump also gave 48-minute speech in the Rose Garden. Of course, Illuminati 48 as well. And the Nasdaq, like I said, that 54 on there. So you got to get that for everything. And then of course look at China. China retaliates with 34% tariffs. So you got the 34 again.
Nasdaq equals 34 as well.
Yep. Tariffs, Nirvana, William, Nasdaq all got that 34. China retaliates 34%. United States on April 4th, the next day. So on 4/4, the 94th day of the year, go figure.
If I'm
It's set to go in
wrong.
effect too. It's set to go into effect on April 10th. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. It's gonna be the 100th day of the year. So on the 100th day of the year, that'll be interesting. And then like 10/4, you know, 10/4, good to go. And then you got, Roman Catholic Church equals 94. It's on the 94th day of the year. Church equals 34. You get the 29 in there. Cross 34, Jesus 34. April 10th, like I said, the 100th day of the year. Of course, trade war as well. Trade war equals 54 as well.
Wow.
Jesuit order 54.
Yep.
The sun 54. We're talking about the sun 27 as well. And the U.S. and China now China now 54% tariff rate. So you got the 54 in there again, or at least they did on the 4th there. Cost
China's
the Trump
100.
tariff will cost the average American $2,100 per year. 2,100. Well, you got Austin Jesuit 21, trade equals 21 and 48 and 33, and 87. The reflection is 78. You got recession. Recession equals 44, and this came on the day April 4th or 4/4. This was the recession talk. Oh, recession on this day. It's got the 55 like Satan. And April 10th will be the 114th days after the Pope's birthday as well. Art of War equals 114 and 51. Like Conspiracy World War has got the 114 as well. Tariffs lead to war. It's got the 42 and the 48 too. Got Trumpy there, Austin Jesuit, the 42. And 149 days after the Superior General's birthday as well. 149 is the 35th prime. And go figure, the 35th prime was China equal 35. Also equals 100. Go figure it'd be on the 100th day of the year.
I was sick. Oh, I might not hit.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Cobain, COVID, all 26. Yeah, just a perfect 100% ritual. April 10th like I said, reciprocal also equals 100 as well. Reciprocal tariffs, it's got the 55 as well. Skull and Bones has got that 149 as well. So you got the 149 in there. Catholic 35, 46. Holy See's got the 35 and the 100 as well. 28. Jesuitism 35. And of course, war itself equals 42 and it equals 21. So yeah, I mean, huge tariffs by the numbers. All the ritual numbers are there. Everything is by the numbers with that. Much as could be. I mean, you got the whole narrative there. I mean, the whole war, and it's going to cost you $2,100.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And a major part of the New York Stock Exchange, and they just have very interesting New York numbers. The Dow Jones. Obviously, Trump is heavily related to New York.
Yep.
But yeah, 3 out of 4 cipher match makes sense.
It's going to cost you $2,100 a year. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. It's going to be big. It's going to be better.
And that gives him, more incentive to print more fake money to balance it. Or this might be the great depositing, the great
Yep.
give us your money and we'll give you the new currency. We'll give you 20% more, 21% more of the new currency for every, we'll give you 121% for every dollar that you put in. You'll get the 121 or 1.21 digital dollars. And anybody that's skeptical about this digital system, look around you, look at the state of human beings. Do you really think that many people won't go for this? And what's your timeline? If they don't go for it right away, how much pressure do they need to squeeze to get people to do things? Right now, I see people doing things with zero pressure. So I'm already thinking that this is going to be something that people are going to be more than willing to do. In fact, I think people will be wanting to, because they're making, like we talked about, they're geoengineering our real world to be unpleasant, scary for some people, anxiety ridden for most people, most losers, I call them, that function in such an anxious way in the world. Yeah, I have a little bit of sympathy because it's not their fault technically, but it's just I've been breathing the same air. I've been in the same shit. It's just like,
right.
Where's your, instead of having a defeatist spirit, what about like, let's stop this shit? Where's the people feeling that way? Why are they always just like, oh, in and just shell up and just go inside themselves? Why not? How can you do it? Like, it's pretty obvious they want you to do that. You just go right along with it.
Right. It's just like I said too. I mean, I used to eat like I said, when I was a kid, I had McDonald's all the time. I ate all the same shit. I got the vaccine. I got 3 vaccines when I was born. I got all the GMOs, all the fluoride, all the poisons everyone else is getting, and it's like it's somehow not affecting me, or it's affecting me in a way that's making me better. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's like, and you have everyone else that, like you said, I mean, where is the push right now to do something? I mean, you do have the protest. Like I say, you do have the protest going on, but that's more of the people that, oh, I voted for Trump. I voted. He's not doing what, I wanted to do, or what he said he was going to do, or, oh, he's these are people that don't understand the puppet show to the degree that we do. They don't understand the world as a stage. Um, it's just people are just, that's the problem is, the people that do want to do something, and do want to overthrow, and are upset right now, they just don't have the knowledge. They're just so far behind, and they're caught, in the rut of where they want them. I mean, there's just, you don't have the people that, obviously, just have just had enough of everything, because like I said, I mean, why else would you have everyone going out just buying a Tesla? I mean, they got people just, or somehow getting your hands on one. They have people, like I said, just lined up for the agenda to accept it and want it, and
Mhm.
that's how they're just getting away with it. I mean, and then, like I said, people aren't. It's weird. It's like you got the people protesting, but then you got the people that are just like, they're kind of just fine everything. They're just content, just like, oh, great, my Tesla, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's definitely a smorgasbord of assaults on the human spirit. It definitely can hit you in 80 different ways with 80 different um, techniques. But that when we were just now, when you were mentioning that about how it's like somehow we're unaffected type of deal, like I wouldn't be surprised to find out, like, if we were ever to overthrow this, that the placebo theory is real, and it's another part of their indexing is like because what a control is, right? The same, you can't just inundate the entire flock. Then from there on, you'll have, if the experiment's wrong, you'll never have anything to base the experiment on going forward. You need a control. You need something that you don't do anything to see how it reacts differently than the one that does react. Like I bet we're all just controls. And that's why it's such a small group of people, and the other people outside of it, they just can't do it. They just cannot wrap their head around it, no matter. Yeah, it's like I don't. This is like sort of defeatist, but it's not defeatist because I'll still try. I'll still try, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that we were the control group, and we got the sugar water in the vaccine, and everybody else got the Johnson and Johnson straight to the Johnson.
Yeah, got a couple of Johnsons. Yeah, jam down there, Johnson.
Yeah, I got poked by a Johnson or two.
Yeah,
Well,
you got your Johnson in my Moderna.
get your Johnson out of me right now.
Get your Johnson out of my Moderna.
I'm a Pfizer guy. I'm a Pfizer guy. Get your Johnson away from me.
Yeah, go sit by Moderna over there.
Mm-hmm. Well, the time is upon me to be heading out here pretty soon. But I did want to, for my mom's sake, if she ever watches these, who knows if she'll ever backlog these, and she's got the time. Let's just put it that way. But my mom's favorite actor growing up, well, basically because she had such a big crush on him, was Val Kilmer, and that this was in the lead up. I mentioned it briefly. This might be one of the more famous actors to have died in recent memory. I think maybe the last biggest actor to die like that big, which Val Kilmer is way bigger than. Like, man, I might be wrong. It was like Matthew Perry was like the last. Though that's the last one I can remember. Has there been a bigger actor that's died?
Yeah, I can't think.
Yeah, I can't. I would assume I would remember it, but yeah, I mean, in recent memory, he's like one of the more famous actors to die. Died at 65 years old, so very young, uh, in the grand scheme. Of course, he's had health issues and things of the like. But before I get into any kind of talk about that, I just want everybody to watch this video, and I'll give my take afterwards. It's really hard for me to do. I'm probably going to interrupt it. But anyway, I'll try to. But I just want people to pay attention to the video. This is like the viral video that got played by all the entertainment outlets after he passed, almost like it was ready and waiting to be played. And I just want you to, you know, it's all like optimistic and like, oh, it's so sweet. And, you know, for whatever you remember of Val Kilmer, he was definitely a charismatic dude. And so like seeing him like this is a little bit rough. It's sad in a certain way, but that's what you get when you sign on dotted lines with
Oh yeah.
with probably like an infant's blood. So at that in that instance, I really don't feel bad, but it is crazy to see because in my little bit of research I did, uh, it was like seeing him in a movie from like 2015, and then like seeing him emerge 2 years later in like 2017. He looked like this. He looked already like an old man before he was real. It's crazy what this little illness, and you know, we know how popular it is for people to fade away from Hollywood for a year or two and then come back and something's majorly different. We know that that's a common theme here. Well, it's no different with him. And you know, I was going through his like filmography, and man, holy smokes, this guy was prolific. He's been in so many movies, regardless of the movies that he's like was the main star in, which is also a lot. He was a heavy hitter movie star in the 90s and early 2000s. So not taken away from it. And I will say that I enjoyed a lot of the movies he was in. My favorite role of his being that of Mad Mardigan in Willow. Willow is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I'm no movie pusher. You know, if nobody ever watched a movie again, I'd be a happy chap. But just, you know, from what I have seen, you know, he was my favorite character in Willow. He was a cool dude in Willow. But anyway, just watch this and let me know what you think. Because I saw this and I was just like, what the hell am I watching? Can you hear it?
There's no sound on my end.
What the hell? I'm glad I asked. Okay, so this is that weird thing again because I definitely enabled sound. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to reshare the screen and definitely hit share this enable sound. Boom. Green thing also share system audio. Share.
There it is.
Okay, that might have just solved. So it that's guaranteed. That's probably what was happening earlier on with our videos. Is it just randomly turns off? I always hit share system sounds every single time, but maybe it's just like how long the thing stays open, it turns itself off or something.
Yeah, it might just be default. Yeah, by like default or something.
I mean, I click it on every single time. It is default off. I turn it on every single time. But
I have an answer for us. It's been a while.
Oh, you look great.
Val Kilmer suiting up as the Caped Crusader on Instagram one last time.
like, you don't need to see too much more. It is sad. I mean, this guy was like an Adonis. Like, you know, he was like a sex symbol for men or for women, probably men too. But just what they did to him in such a short amount of time. Also, he's a Christian Scientist, which is like, you know, a degree of separation away from Scientologists, which, you know, his breakout role as, let me just spell it out for you, as Tom Iceman Kaczynski. No, that's wrong. Tom Iceman Kaczynski, 201. That was his role in Top Gun, alongside, obviously, Tom Cruise. Funny enough, he played a guy named Tom with the guy named Tom. Anyway, but Tom Cruise is, you know, outspoken Scientologist. So you have a Christian Scientologist, Christian Scientist, and a Scientologist. And from what I researched, there's, you know, only a few degrees of separation. It's another mega church subscription based religion. So anyway, but yeah, his breakout role in Top Gun as this character, Tom Iceman Kaczynski. And then what do you know? He dies, right after reprising that role in Top Gun Maverick, which he hadn't really acted in anything since his throat cancer, where, he's talking like a crazy. But it's also just like when you sign on that dotted line, it's like, Lord knows, who knows? Maybe they're filming his entire life and like he's just acting this entire time. Maybe that was the real. He's like, you know what? I'm sick of acting for movies. I want to do such a good acting job that I trick everybody into thinking that I'm like went through throat cancer. I bet I could do it. I bet I could do a great job. It's just like this might be insensitive, but if with Hollywood, I wouldn't put it past a lot of these people's like real lives that are they're just acting. They're just like playing a part, which I think we all know that is happening. So I wouldn't put it past it for like when you hear about ailments and certain things that people go through. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that they just wanted to see if they could act out the ailment.
Yeah, and just that face. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy what happened because what happened, like he went from like a sex symbol to like like a dad bod, and it's just like he was still so popular that people just had to put up with it because he was just like hot shit. But it was just weird. I let me try to point out what I'm talking about. Is there any way to like do Val Kilmer like through the years? Well, shit. Okay, not just the beginning and end. Not just the beginning and end. Oh, come on. All they have is the early stuff. Okay, so here you go. See, he just turned into this and just nobody cared. It's just like he was just as sexy as like when he looked like that. Yeah, that's the yeah, that's the same guy right there. But yeah, he was still getting all the roles as like the leading like sexy guy, even though he just got like he wasn't even fat. I don't know how to explain what happened to him. It was just strange. But anyway, that's just like my opinion. I don't want to get too far into the. I don't care that much, but yeah. The truth is like, from him looking like this to this, it was like a 2-year period. It's crazy what happened. But oh yeah, the other thing I was gonna say is I don't really watch movies very often at all anymore. Like once a handful of times a year, maybe, if I'm like somehow in the same room. But I was trying to do some research last night, and my head just wasn't in it, and I ended up. His first movie was called Top Secret, which is another funny thing because he's breakout roles in Top Gun. His first 2 movies are Top Secret and Top Gun. But
and we just did Top Gun in our thumbnail 2 weeks ago too.
exactly, yeah. So there was definitely that idea when I first found out about it through his video. I was just like, damn, I just had him in the thumbnail, and now everybody's talking about Top Gun. Like, I don't know. It's just there's something weird about it. And then there's another thing too that's just clawing at my mind. I can't remember, but there was another like synchronicity too with our thumbnail that I just can't remember. But I really wish I did because I did earlier this week. I was telling my lady about it. But yeah, it's I'm not. It's a great image. Oops, do that. It opened up the link. It's interesting. There's just Kurt Cobain face.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Kurt Cobain.
There he is. That's him. But yeah. Yeah, that movie was really funny. It was like actually I don't know which one came out first. Let's see. Top Secret. Yeah, 1984. I think Airplane was 1988. Because it's a very much oh no, 1980. Okay, never mind. So Top Secret was definitely stealing from Airplane. But yeah, Top Secret's a movie. It's almost just like Airplane. The pacing is the same. The jokes are pretty much the same, but it was pretty funny. And there is some iconic stuff from that. I don't know if you've ever seen the funny shootout that they have like in a building. I know that was a pretty heavily used meme where like they're busting out all the windows and a guy jumps on a grenade and everyone dies but him. Stupid shit like that.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It's on the Internet Archives. It's like an hour and a half, if that. I think you probably get a kick out of it. It's old school humor, so it's like that, old dry adult humor from like the late 80s and 70s. Or I mean early 80s and late 70s. So I grew up with that. Like my grandma, the only thing is I got to watch before she got cable briefly was her video, her VHS tapes that she had recorded the TV, and so it's like I saw Airplane and um, I think I saw some Naked Gun movies too, which I think they're remaking the Naked Gun movies. But anyway, just like really dry humor, like on the nose jokes, breaking the fourth wall, stuff like that. But it was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, other than just the quick research I did, the only other thing I have to say about it, because I was mentioning when you mentioned the 54 thing, I was like, it's just been ever present in my just really quickly looking up like some of the characters that he's played. A lot of them equal 54, and his death was announced on April Fool's Day too, which it's interesting. Um, it's also technically, if you were to think about it that way, you could say that it's like a death to kick off the new year,
Yeah.
like a big death. So
Yeah,
I
April
mean,
Fool's. What a day to die. 4114.
mm-hmm. What was die again? No, die is 18. That's right. I always thought die was an interesting word when I found out about it. 18, 18, 18. Like, what the hell? 3 18s? That's not good.
Hair
Uh,
dye. Dye my hair.
yeah, just as bad. Oh my god. Well, yeah. But yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't type it out. Bruce Wayne equals 54 and 45. Um, he plays Doc Holliday in Tombstone. Another double 54 name. There was definitely other ones. It's just for posterity. Was it IMDb I looked at, or I think it was. Oh my gosh, get it. Wish they do it
Double
upside down.
V.
Huh?
Double V.
Like he has a lot of movies. Spears. This is gonna put his. Oh, this is gonna put his shows too. I should really just do movies.
He's had a nice long career for himself.
Yep, he got the most out of it. Okay, I don't know how to. Okay, here we go. It's going to show his shows too, but he was in Real Genius as Chris Knight. He's been in a lot of like weird movies. Okay, so I was looking it up, and not only did it. Oh yeah. I was going to mention this early on. Speaking of, dead musicians and stuff for his timely death. He very famously played Jim Morrison in the Doors movie, which, my mom had a poster of this on her. It always confused me. I thought it was a movie about like going through doors, like it was like a fantasy, or like it was like a sciencey music like movie. I never saw I ever watched it.
He's watching the Doors. What's he doing? Looking at a bunch of doors?
Yeah.
Buying a new door?
Okay, so this movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau, I'm gonna try to watch this. I don't like watching movies, but this plot to this movie is absolutely insane. It's about like human hybrids being cloned and underground facilities and stuff. I'm like, man, they definitely. I guarantee you, they told us about something in this movie. Not to mention, you get Marlon Brando in there.
Oh,
So,
man. Our Brando's back.
Yep. Can't go too long without Brando showing back up.
Yeah, that's like that Slipknot song, Eyeless. You can't see California without Marlon Brando's eyes.
Never heard that one, but Slipknot. They got some mainstays.
Oh, yeah.
What's really funny about that Top Secret movie is, did you ever watch Harry Potter movies?
I think I've briefly seen maybe a couple of times. I
Well,
always called him Harry Pothead because he was always stoned for all those episodes. He was always such a stoner. Harry Pothead.
the main villain's dad, Draco Malfoy, his dad, Lucius Malfoy. He's like this like serious British actor kind of guy. But like I'm pretty sure that here, let's actually go look it up. This must have been one of his earliest roles too. Was in this movie Top Secret. And dude, he gets fucked by a cow. There's all sorts of crazy shit that happens to him. That you're just like, oh shit. Like what? How is he not listed? How would he not be in the top cast? He was the main bad guy. What? Wait, what? Okay, that's really weird. What was his name? Nigel.
Nigel.
That's very strange. He was like, uh, what the hell? Okay, so this is just how would he not get a what? He was in the half the movie as the main like love triangle interest guy and the main bad guy. That's just so weird. Here we go. But yeah, he was really young. Like, and I didn't know he would have been. You just can't picture him in like a comedy sense. But yeah, he was like stranded on an. It was pretty funny. You should just watch it. I would recommend watching it just because it's just trash. You could just take it for what it was. But Christopher Villiers.
Christopher.
Now they say they have him there. That's weird.
Weisstofer.
How do they have him all the way down here, barely like? Man, he looks really different there. What? Anyway, whatever. Shit was funny. And I do think that there were some nods to our favorite orders, especially the ones that he's associated with in that movie too. I just wasn't paying so close of attention to take super note of it. Although I will say there was a scene where he's like in prison and he's able to, he thinks he's gonna break out because there's just a crowbar left in the jail cell with him. So it's just like use the crowbar and opens up this grate, and he climbs through. He climbs all the way through, but he just falls through another grate. And so he like goes through, and it's just like a throwaway shitty scene. But as he's climbing into the first grate, there's this like picture on the wall, and I swear it's a picture of Cher. And if you didn't know this, he dated Cher for a while when he was like young, and Cher was like old still. And it's just crazy that how many people outlived him. Like he was in Batman Forever as Batman, and like Tommy Lee Jones is in that movie as Two-Face. Tommy Lee Jones is doing fine. He was already way older than him in that movie, but he's still kicking just fine. And he was in movies with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. They're just doing great. They're just absolutely fantastic. And a 65-year-old Val Kilmer's just deucing out.
Yep. 55, like Kurt Donald Cobain. Time to go.
Oh, that is true. His full name is 65. But I do believe that's how you spell his name. Very Jesuit name Jim Morrison has.
144.
He has the no, not Society of Jews.
It says like Society of Jesus and Kurt Donald Cobain got that.
Oh, it's just Jesuit order. That's what I'm thinking. It's very it's like 3 out of 4 Jesuit order.
Yeah, Society of Jesus and Kurt Cobain got that 65, 56, and you got the 97, 79. So you pretty much got double reflection. Interesting. Kurt Cobain, 42. Cobain, 44. Kurt, 29.
Also, like 118. Oh yeah, it's in Jewish. Death equals 118. I forget some of my other ciphers sometimes. I had to check a couple other ones, but yeah, death equals 118 in Jewish. It's so weird that it's called Latin. Like I don't even know the purpose behind that. I do a bit of research on a lot of different things, and I don't really understand the Latin Jewish connection. Like right off the bat, I don't get it. I honestly just don't get it. Like and historically, I don't know if there was any kind of like upheaval or any kind of in the narrative about Jews in like Rome and stuff like that back in the time of anyway. Interesting that he named it that, but not sure where that comes from. But yeah, I definitely could have done more research or should have, but I've had a pretty interesting week here. So I figured we might as well send this episode off as we ought to pay our respects, make sure that this channel stays up and afloat, and bow to the kiss the ring, kiss the cheeks and legs and ass of this guy like everybody else does.
Yep, eat his ass out like everyone else.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
Come here, I want your butt cheeks in my face.
Just in the Pope Mobile too, so everybody can see. Nobody can stop you. But yeah, I got an 88-year-old buddy. He looks great. I want to see if anything's just like he looks great. I mean, this guy, it doesn't even look like the same dude. He was ugly before, but holy shit.
It's ugly by the day.
My God. Like, Arturo's just back there. I'm the fucking Pope, bitch.
Yeah, he's got his hands up. He's fondling some little butt cheeks. He's.
Have you ever noticed the little looks like skull and crossbones right there on his cross?
Yeah, it does.
I wonder if they're like those ore-looking things that I think I see them in Roman iconography. Like kind of look like spoons. Let's see. How do I look that up? I don't care. Interesting.
Old fat little fingers, fat little hands.
Like, what's up with this one? Like I can do that with one finger, like the double jointed thing.
Yeah.
I can only do it with one. None of my other ones I can do it with. It's really weird. Wow, is this like calluses? Ew, bro, what are you doing? Holy shit! What? What happened here, bro? What? Why is this one humongous and this one like?
I know.
Bro, it's like it looks like a dildo factory sample pack for like. It's like you get to try all 5.
Yeah, I was thinking you got his fingers like out of a sausage package. Like, here, pick your size. Pick
You got the tickler. Jesus Christ. I can't look at that for long. I'll start to drool. Well, he's back. I don't know if anyone asked him to be back, but he's back. And he's hoping for peace in the Middle East. Yeah, good try, buddy. Hope, we'll see. Maybe that'll do it.
We need our Pope. We need our president. We need our leader.
He's been out since March 23rd. Where you been?
Yeah, day after 322. Come on. Just taking a break after Skull and Bones.
Who cares about this? Why do they even give us this article? It says nothing. It says next to nothing in this entire thing. Just refutable stuff that no one cares about. A jubilee of sick. I gotta see this. I gotta see this. I'm sorry. A jubilee of sick.
55.
55 from our holy. Oh man, a jubilee of sick.
That's about what I expect to see on there. 55, the big Satan number.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a jubilee of sick. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best. Going to love it.
It's gonna be the best jubilee of sick we've ever seen. The biggest, the best.
It's the jubilee of sick. It's the biggest event. It's the best. You're going to love it. You've never seen anything quite like it.
Mark knows. Right, Mark? Yeah, Mark loves it. He always points at somebody in the crowd that no one can prove is there. Just like, is he pointing at me? Am I Mark to him? You love it. It's a beautiful number. It's a beautiful jubilee. It's a beautiful jubilee. The best jubilee. The sick jubilee. Look at this emasculated human being. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Play that back. What the hell is happening here? He looks pissed. He looks half dead and pissed. Hey, you want some vodka in an unmarked water bottle? Look at all these idiots. I mean, I think it's all contrived. Just like, shouldn't that be like modus operandi? Is that the Pope should not have a crew of people watching him? Like, shouldn't the Pope himself be, if you represent the religion, shouldn't you, and you are, Christ in body, wouldn't you turn that away and say, like, whatever happens, happens. I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and I will do that. I don't need FBI intel, like, following me. I don't need, like, my own Secret Service group. It's just such a weird thing that, how do people, like, look at this clown and think it's any kind of, like, reality they should look to? It's just a depressing capper, really. I'm sorry I had to show you guys all that. His sausage fingers alike, and that's my bad.
Yeah, what it just boils down is people just love ugly motherfuckers. They love the Pope. They love Twompy. They love these ugly losers. It's just be the ugliest loser you can possibly be, and you got it made. That's all you got to do.
Well, I'm working on it.
Get yourself your biggest around all your followers.
I mean, there's something in that formula where it's working for him. So
yeah,
us handsome motherfuckers are gonna be phased out. I'm just kidding. You're like us. You're like, yeah, us. All right. But well, on that note, this scrolls all episode long, includes our email. Feel free to hit us up in the email if you have any suggestions or concerns or angry rants or tirades or heavenly praise or what we missed, stuff you liked. Feel free to do so in the comment section of this video as well. No worries there. We reply to every single comment. And yeah, I think it was a fun episode. Definitely a highlight of my week, which has not been the best, but yeah. Look forward to next week. We'll see if that three-peat comes through. I could see it happening. It's just never enough. It's never enough. I can imagine a lot of people thought the two-peat was already unlikely, the Bell two-peat, right, for him to only, hit the three-peat. So I wouldn't be surprised them do it again, and that narrative really builds with the the waning vet against the young pups. You know, they love doing that in all sorts of sports, all sorts of sports. Just guys, think back to quarterback rivalries and things like that, and the year or two before a quarterback retires, they have these miracle, beautiful seasons that the narrative's just perfect. They're going to get a made-for-TV show, they're going to get a book, so that's what this is all about, is continuing the narrative. It's not about now. It's never been about now with these stories. That's why it really is about looking forward and still backwards, because the story unfolds both ways. Time is imaginary, except for to our aging, shitty bodies. Can't wait for AI to save me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, hopefully that race comes through, and we'll see what we come up with for next episode. If you guys have suggestions, please leave it anywhere you'd like. And but yeah, have a good week, everybody, and later.
Peace.